Good evening. My name is Yulia Stadnichuk. I'm the speaker for the International Public Movement's Politics 2.0. I'm based in Moscow, in Russia, and we are live right now from Moscow. I'm a speaker for the International Public Movement's Politics 2.0, and we in our streams always view all what is happening, all the situations, and regard everything from the point of view of Politics 2.0 concept. You can find some videos on the concept of Politics 2.0, our movement, our activities, and about us in English language playlist here on this channel. I'm making today this short video, this short live stream, devoted to Mr. Navalny because it's quite obvious that he is now becoming a very, very popular figure. And I guess it is needed, some explanation is needed who this person is and how he is regarded here in Russia. What do Russian people think about him? And is he really truly the opposition of to President Putin? And do we really think that he's the one who Putin is afraid of? We've spoken about Navalny already a little bit. You might find it back in our English language streams, but here is a short video devoted to Mr. Navalny only. I'll just notice that our public movement grew from a live book of Father Afanasia, so there is a lot of information, including on a lot of subjects, including Navalny, in Father Afanasia's live book. In Russian, but the posts may be Google translated to get some idea. But I'll give just a short review. So right now, what is happening with Navalny and how his figure is presented? It's obviously being like advertised and discussed for English language and especially Western audiences. For the Russian people, for the people here in Russia, things which are happening with him, all his imprisonment and all his sicknesses and all the protests which are happening around him actually are of no interest, because we have a lot of people being in prison. We have a lot of news and information about very bad things happening to people in prisons. We know of a lot of protests and a lot of actions being taken to save people from prison, and it doesn't help actually. And the measures applied to other people, not to Navalny, are much stricter. People who serve a conditional sentence or suspended sentence have no chance to go abroad. They cannot do anything. A lot of businessmen, even if they haven't committed some huge crimes, for some minor crimes and for some economic minor crimes, they are kept in prison during the investigation period. So maybe the investigation results in finding that they're innocent, but they have already spent a lot of time in prison, and their businesses have already been destroyed by their absence. So we have really a lot of things happening around prisons right now, and this focus of information about how Navalny suffers, that he is either sick, or he has tuberculosis, or he has something is wrong with his legs or with his arms or with his spine or something else. Actually looks like a little bit like a comedy for us here, because really we have much more serious things happening to people here. So it is obvious that the news and the information here is mostly, not here, but about Navalny, is mostly published to make this impression of a person, and it is aimed at foreign audiences, Western audiences, the people from other countries who do not really know what is happening in Russia and only just surf the news and get some glimpse here and there of what is really happening and just catch his name. If we look at Navalny's biography, where he appeared from and what his political biography is, we'll find out that he started as a blogger at LiveJournal and started writing about corruption. It was back in 2005, I guess. And first, actually, he was kind of close to Russian national ideas, to those national movements, and he even spoke about getting rid of migrants, getting rid of allowing guns. Actually, he was for guns. He was for Russian nationality. He took part in all kind of Russian national activities. There were some public and political movements who actually kind of used this idea of Russians, because it should be very clear. It's very clear for us here in Russia that Russia is a nationality. It's not just a geographical attribute. Russian is a nationality, and people who live in Russia, there are a lot of nationalities, and they are different. And Russians, those who are Russians, the Slavic Russians, are different from other nationalities. And we do have some conflicts here. We do have this understanding of this problem of Russians living in Russia and of national conflicts that we have. So that was a popular idea among politicians to kind of, use these ideas, the Russian national ideas, and kind of build their political career. But I guess it was in 2011 or somewhere, he went to Yale University to join this special program preparing the future revolution leaders for developing countries. It's still there in Yale. It's like postgraduate degree, I guess. And he took part in this program, and we have photo proof of him with other fellows, members of this program also. And he came back here with totally different ideas, with ideas of like liberal democracy and European values, and moving Russia to like turning Russia to other direction. Until 2000, I guess it was up to 2019. He was actually widely criticized by other even democratic oppositional leaders here in Russia, because he was pulling all the blanket to himself. He wasn't ready to share his popularity, his the influence he had. He wasn't ready actually to share it with other democratic leaders, and that was a problem. That was a problem for our political life. And other oppositional politicians, those who called themselves Democrats or liberals, they were actually criticizing Navalny for not uniting effort with anybody, for not supporting any other candidates. But it was quite obvious that Navalny kind of, it looked like he did everything not to take part in real elections. He acted the way that he made his participation or his win in the election quite impossible, for just a number of reasons. He would try to enter election with not finished sentences. He would violate some laws, or he would take part in the elections without uniting effort, and thus losing opportunity to win. And that's something he was criticized for, and that was actually it created the image that he wasn't actually. He didn't even really want to change anything. He just wanted to stay popular. He wanted to stay on top of the news, and to be presented like the leader. He had really unprecedented support of oppositional media. And there was this notion that the TV, the central TV that we have, doesn't call him by himself, and that was kind of part of his PR campaign, that nobody calls Navalny with his name, because everybody's afraid of Navalny. Actually, everybody knew Navalny, everybody knew his name, and you don't need to be on television to people for people to know you. He took part. He said he would be taking part in a presidential campaign in 2018, but he had an unserved sentence at that moment. It wasn't. He hasn't served it yet, so. Actually, he wasn't able to take part. It was actually obvious that he wasn't allowed, according to law, to take part in the elections without this closing this sentence. But he said that it's only some political forces are used against him for not letting him take part in the elections. So actually that was mostly PR campaign, him presenting himself like a true opposition leader who is being like prosecuted, who is being kept away from true elections, who is being like suppressed by the politicians, by the leaders. In fact, what we know, that he was the only person in Russia who, having his sentences open, could travel abroad. He actually violated these terms of suspended sentences, traveling abroad, and it's not only the point that he was traveling abroad, but that is the point that our border control service actually allowed him to go abroad. That is something impossible. You cannot imagine like a businessman with some open suspended sentence trying to get abroad. He will not be allowed to leave the country. And Navalny was allowed. Navalny traveled easily for his personal reasons, for vacation, for like seeing a doctor or something. So the way the situation looks from inside of the country is that he had a lot of support from the Kremlin, but it was not the open support, like not Putin saying that Navalny is like the best, but it's like the support for him really conducting, like leading his normal way of life, and just presenting himself as the leader of the opposition. There's one more point, is that this idea that Putin is not calling Navalny by his name also like added to the general PR of Navalny, and actually it was obvious that Putin took part in this game. And the fact that Navalny is still alive, unlike some other people who actually crossed the road of Putin, shows that actually Navalny is under protection. In 2019, Alexei Navalny initiated a program which was called Smart Voting. And that was a program which actually totally destroyed real political life in Russia, because what he said is that we do not need to vote to people we trust, for people we trust. We do not need to vote for ideas we trust. We need to vote for somebody who is likely to win over the Единая Россия candidate. So he started this election campaign, and he said that I am Alexei Navalny, will be the one who will tell you who is likely to win in your region. So you go to your polling station, you just vote for the candidate I tell you to vote for. So people actually voted for, like, liberals started voting for communists, communists started voting for Democrats, because Navalny said that this is likely to help everybody to win over Единая Россия. What actually it resulted in? It resulted in the victory of two parties. There was one party which won is Единая Россия, and the other party is Communist Party of Russia. So Navalny actually helped the Communist Party of Russia by saying that ideology doesn't matter. You don't need to think of ideas. You don't think of a person, whether you trust this person or you do not trust this person. You just vote for the person I tell you to vote for. So that was actually the start of creating a kind of, single opposition party. Like there shouldn't be like a variety of political ideas. You should just have one party in opposition and one ruling party. So Единая Россия and another party. So Navalny was the one who was creating this single opposition party in Russia, and it is obvious that he couldn't. He wouldn't be able to do this without support from Kremlin and without, Kremlin closing eyes on financial issues, on political issues, or all other kind of issues which really take place. So what happened next? What happened in August in 2020? They said that he was poisoned. From what we know, it's not likely that he was poisoned. It's likely that he had an overdose, which was an unexpected case for everybody. And what happened next? We have quarantine all over the world. We have closed borders in Russia. Nobody can go anywhere. And Putin allows Navalny to leave country just like as if we do not have doctors here in Russia. We do have doctors. It wasn't that hard to save his life, but Putin allowed actually Navalny to leave Russia to go to Germany and like to help German doctors to save his life. Just this is crazy. It's not like it destroys this idea that Navalny is true opposition whose Putin is afraid of. So he left Russia. He I guess the reason was, and actually that was something we discussed a lot. The reason was that if they stayed in Russia, if he stayed in Russia, then the information of what really happened to him with his analysis and his health data would start leaking somehow into the media. And we would get this idea of true situation with his life and his health and this overdose that he had. So they had to go to Germany to somehow hide all these things. And then he came back to Russia from Germany. And then is what is happening right now. There was this movie that he started about Putin's residency. Despite of just, huge PR, despite of all those huge number of views that they counted, like 100 million of views, it's impossible, just simply impossible. Actually, people were not that much interested in that movie. I guess that was mostly focused on foreign audiences. It was aimed on people from other countries, so that the people from other countries could get some idea of how severe the corruption is in Russia and how much people hate Putin and how much people do not trust Putin and all that. Because really, we in Russia know a lot about the corruption, and we do not expect Putin to live in some simple apartment. We just do not expect him to do it. And if we get some more detail, it's just like, okay, some more detail. The protest meetings that they had showed that really people in Russia are not really ready to go on revolution. But the arrest that Navalny came here and was arrested here, it was like expected and was a preparation for the situation right now. What we know from what is happening right now, and I guess we'll be discussing further on, it's very difficult to discuss because it's not that easy to find out what is really happening, what is true and what is not. But it's likely that the conflict with Ukraine is arising, and it's very likely to be a very serious conflict. And at the same time, there is this PR of Navalny case, like Navalny is suffering, and this cruel regime, this bloody Putin regime, is like killing good guy Navalny. And bloody Putin regime is ready to attack Ukraine. It looks like it's the preparation of a very, how should I put it, a very tragic and really very... I don't know how to put it, an awful period, when Navalny is to be the next president of Russia with huge support from Western leaders after this war with Ukraine. I guess that's what is being prepared. So I guess I'll be finishing my short video right now. If you have any further questions, I'm here in Russia. You just, we know what is happening here. We know what people think, and we really feel what people feel about Navalny. And that's why I'm speaking about this. I'm not a journalist. I do not execute some media strategy or something. We are just sharing the information so that you actually knew what the political situation really is. And if you have any questions, if you want to know more about what is happening, of some figures or some comments, please leave your questions under this video. We'll answer them in our further streams. We can make streams more often if needed. So we'll be ready to share the information we have, and we're happy to share the information we have. I'll finish my short video about Navalny right now. Please leave your questions in case you need some more information. My name is Yulia Stadnichuk, and see you next time. Thank you for your attention, and goodbye.